Alright, so this is the base, essentially where I started, set up the main building, then there were a couple irons over here, started there, this was the original area, on the very early phase, the stones, then some more iron over there, and later on I kept expanding a little bit over that direction. Then the early copper here, which obviously has been expanded over time. And then I moved towards there to start my steel production. And that has been upgraded over time, especially after getting the what's called pure steel. And then, yeah, pretty much this has been as is. I took the coal from back there, brought it all the way here, and then used everything around this area just for the steel, and then input all the way to this. And then I went exploring, got the caterium from all the way over there. Did it later on. I researched it, I found it there, researched it, and just like got it. Actually, I didn't get it. I put the pipe, like the hyper pipe, go all the way there. So I would pick up an inventory and come back, but I didn't really use them until later on, obviously. Over there, when I was like searching for different items, like I found the SAM, like a pure one. So also I researched that. Didn't really know what to use it for, but just like took a while to bring it all the way back to the base, this original base. And like here, the first floor was pretty much everything until like a phase 3-ish, and it was just like this plain first floor, and kept expanding, upgrading a little bit as much as I could. I pretty much had the idea not to boost anything that I can just build more of. So I would like save all the boosts for like the main inputs, like all the miners, everything like that, and occasionally some of the parts for the spaceship and some related boxes. In general, I did very small. I usually had like one, maximum two buildings building the like parts for the space project. And while those were building up, then I would like go for exploring and expanding and stuff like that. So it worked pretty well for me. I didn't feel the need. Like if you take this area for example in the early game, if I would want to add one more like output for some of the ship parts, then I would need to just like double this whole shit. It's obviously in the early, it's not like I would need to bring like all of the minerals from somewhere else and stuff, so I didn't see the need for it. Then during the phase 3 I also did the main kind of like, it's not bus per se, but I did just like a main storage area. So I had all the stuff that I need. I had like a couple hyper pipes coming here, so I could come here and get my stuff, whatever I needed for most of the stuff. At least during the steel age pretty much. And then I upgraded these things and just like get everything here. This made like the building actually could start to play the game pretty much. And of course since I have storage here, blueprints over here, and then fairly early on, well, pretty much when I found the oil, I realized, like a scan, that okay, there's like a big area of oil over here. And then I also like checked like, okay, there's all kinds of like minerals and of course the big lake. So very early on I decided like, hey, okay, there's like a big pit over here, so just make a bridge all the way there and just make a new base over there for all the oil production stuff. And that's what I did. And this is another bus I made all the way to the first leg of the bridge. I made this here on the side, and then eventually I made like a new one over the ground for. Essentially, I brought like many of the materials I needed for the ship parts all the way over here, So I would create them over there and then send them all the way over here. Just felt like doing it. And that is kind of the mentality or kind of like the design I had for the rest of the game, is that the final projects were made here, pretty much. As you can see, like even the phase 5, like, you know, it was actually fairly simple. It didn't take really that much buildings like to expand. But like, yeah, all the stuff is over here. All the SAMs and stuff I already had over there. Here I had my first the coal generator area, which obviously I kind of like just took off for taking space. And this coal also was like, this was running pretty much all my energy on the phase 3. But yeah, this is pretty much how this is like the starting area, how it turned out. And let's go see let's say the main, well, this main production area. So here's some copper, some other minerals, here's some the gases I could get. So this I started first like just the coal here, and I put up here, I had many more like a coal, actually those not even those, but I had like a coal plants like all the way over there to make the energy. That was the first thing I did. And then I pretty much started just expanding, like I started all the oil related production over that corner, and then eventually when I had some like the fuel generators, then I just expanded over there on the first floor. And the first floor, pretty quickly I made this bus over there, and then I learned about these cannon things, so I started making those all around. And first, yeah, so pretty much I started building from that corner and then slowly came over here, over this way, and then I built the first, like this main building here was the first thing. I started making the computers, and then I expanded over there. There were like 3 irons over there, so I got the irons to start making the heavy frames. So this everything I did after that, and also these over here and these everything. It kind of became pretty natural. Like first make these for starting production over there, then make all these assistants over there, and then on this side I put the copper, and then on the bottom floor is the steel, which then feeds over here, and then on a few things over along the way. But here's a pretty good place for the copper, and then eventually I made more iron for the steel here too. I think there were even one floor under, yeah, over there is like my steel coming up. But like this was pretty fun because this is the first time I started like a really like layering. Before it was just like one floor and that's it, but I made like one design for the computer and then I started stacking them up, and then I just started going ham with that, like having usually the metal on the bottom floor, and then the further up you go, the more complicated it gets. In the middle I had lots of like a free space, so I put my aluminums here. These I actually could get away with fairly little. I have, I think, 3 machines making the alumina, and then I'm just feeding as much as these, like whatever they're called, machines. What is this called? Foundries, yeah, to make the aluminum. And yeah, for that I scrapped all this, so I can just coal over there. And that is also when I did a short test on the train. Like the train is fine, I don't really mind it. It's just like had to be on a kind of like on a in a plane platform to stay on the speed. And like it's just like making the buses, it's just hurting so much for the blueprints not snapping. So I like, of course, like you can expand and extend very easily. Like if you've ever done trains in Factorio, it's fairly simple to do here too. But it's just like kind of tedious in the end, especially because like I kept myself from using the train until I had the drones. And yeah, after that there was simply no reason for me to train or anything, or even like anything I would need, I would just mass produce where the whatever resource is, and then just drone it up wherever I need. I still did some like over there. I had crystals over here for the quartz production. Just bring it over here by the belts, and I also like I have some productions like there I have the silica and the quartz. Here I have. I wonder what this was. This was. This was the how to say, the quick wire. Also getting there was, I think somewhere there was one mine. But yeah, and eventually I diverted some of my fuel to make these factories. So I was trying to research, and a lot of people were using the nitro fuel. No, not nitro fuel, the turbo fuel. But eventually, like I just came up or looked for the nitro rocket fuel recipe. So this recipe, like you have to use lots of the resources, but it just cuts off everything. Like you just need the fuel, that's it. Like and the other stuff, the gas and the sulfur and the coal, and it's done. It's so simple. Like I was checking the turbo fuel, or even the normal nitro, and it just takes a lot. Like I suppose it's more worth if you need more electricity, but I'm like at production 85. It's bouncing between 90 and 85, so that's totally enough. Like only thing that's like a capping me is like having the two fully boosted sludged nuclear pasta machines. But yeah, so I made these, and then I made a couple other outposts just for the energy. Like I have one over here, just full on use everything for the nitro fuel. Another one over here. So essentially just had to check the coal, this one, and then I got, I think the gas I got all the way from there to here. So there's also, I had just platforms and with energy. And then like the last really thing that I did for the resource was like I got these crystals to my base for the phase 5 things. And then I made like a couple of posts just for like, where was this? Yeah, so I made one outpost for the diamonds, just sent them back to my base, and then I made like here's one outpost for the copper dust and another one for the copper dust. Just like you just make the machines, and you have like I used like a 10 and 10, so 10 smelters, 10 constructors. It's very simple, doesn't take lots of space, quick to set up. Just bang, drone it back to base and you're good. Absolute freebie. So I suppose we can take a short flight, maybe see a little bit how it looks up from the air. But yeah, I really love, like this might seem like a mess, but it's fairly simple because it's done in a parts and phases. So I have there a couple boxes for the computers and the frames, and then under there I have everything related to the phase 4. I just needed few machines, just boost them up, and like they were doing plenty enough for me to build, expand, and then like also do the computer parts, and then they go here. This is like, for example, for the turbo engines is this and that area, and that's the like you can see there's lots of space. Like I just gave myself some space if I want to expand, but in the end like didn't see any point to it really. And let's see if we can, how far we can go. So there's like a one energy outpost. You can see there's another. There's some exploring. There's like one of the copper bases. I wonder if I have any energy. Maybe not. have electricity somewhere this way. Possibly. Maybe. Possibly maybe. Possibly maybe. Yeah, so it was very enjoyable game. But like I just love this kind of like a base build. Like Factorio was one of my favorite games of all time, and like this was also had the similar things, but they're still missing a lot. Like the blueprints not snapping is like a one very big like miss, very big miss for them. Like I just don't understand why. Oh. Let me just load it up. Load it up, we can get back to where we were. I don't remember what I had, but it's fine. But yeah, so the blueprints missing or not snapping is kind of odd. Like I understand it might be like a weird to like how will you do it with different materials and stuff like that, but still like could like for example use the like you used to use the AI parts for the splitter, like the more advanced splitter. You could just like make like okay, you could have like a smart pieces that you just put in between, like that will be on the edge of the blueprint, and then you can connect them. And yeah, I mean that will be a pretty reasonable trade-off. Like you can just like a trade-off, like you have to produce this part to make your blueprints very smooth, and it's just like would smooth out all the buildings so hard that it would be worthwhile. And yeah, it would just like make everything a lot smoother. Like it kind of for me, it's just like always hurts my brain that I have the blueprints, but they like I still have to click stuff all the time. Makes no sense to me. But of course I understand it's like 3D and like all kinds of weird things could happen when you try to force like you could abuse probably in many ways how they work out and stuff. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. There's like I said, I feel it's like similar than Factorio, like that it's gonna be evolving a lot after the even after the actual like launch. But yeah, that kind of stuff. It was fun. It's a great game. Here's actually here's like how I did the late game like drawing. Like I was planning to have more of the end game stuff, like just like I used the smart splitter to auto sort all the stuff and move them around. But in the end, there was actually not so much I needed to do. So, but it was still nice. Now I had like pretty much all the stuff. Like I had one storage area over there for the old stuff, and then new stuff is here and over there somewhere. And pretty much like I memorize everything after you go through everything so many times, upgrading and kind of like. I didn't really count that hard, like what I put anywhere. Like I had some like ideas, like okay, maybe this much I need for that and this much for that, and then if I was lacking something, I would just like put more. Especially like on the phase 5 when you get the free, well not free, but like you can pump the boosters. So I just go around like just boost everything that I feel like need more, and that's it. But I think that covers pretty much what I had. Yeah, I did one big like exploration. Eventually left my car there. It wasn't really worth it. It was a lot easier to just bounce around with the jetpack. Go around. Later on the phase 4 I just recommend just take electricity with you and just like fly with the what is it called, floater? What is the name? The hoverpack, yeah. So that way you already have electricity pretty much wherever you want to go. You don't need to care about running out of fuel. It doesn't, and you don't need to use the inventory space for the fuel either. And it just feels a lot more faster. You don't need to like drop down every now and then, and you can like essentially like hover. For example, if you see stuff that's surrounded by enemies, just put the floor, put the walls. You can hover while you're doing it, and then you just drop in and get the stuff and get out. And like I said, then you have the electricity. Like if, like for example, I was going there to do this, I already had the electricity somewhere here, so I could just like grab and go. No need to like do anything weird. Could just like shoot myself up with the hyper pipe the guns and like get it done. But yeah, I think I'll maybe come back to this game in the future with some updates. Maybe let it rest for a year, come back maybe. But it's been fun. And I kind of want to see. Let's listen to it.
Unsurprisingly, here's another presentation, but don't worry, I have improved it. This last delivery will be the most important action you have ever taken. Perhaps you want to take a moment to contemplate the gravity of your achievements. Alright, that's enough. This is the end of the Save the Day program. All you need to do is wait for the automated Phase 5 construction to complete. Simply throw the lever and further instructions will be supplied when relevant.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see what that was.
Phase 5 completed. Return to the space elevator after the resources have been processed and added to project assembly. Launch can then be initiated from there. While waiting, please do not break anything. Solve any issues immediately and efficiently. Ensure your power network is stable. Perhaps it is best if you do not touch anything at all. And stay close to the space elevator. This will only take a moment.
That it? Nothing's moving. Check oil. The. Ha! Okay. Check oil. Active the bus number 1. Left stabilizer to the 9. It's actually nice. Not just like a shooting off. Where's the balance at? X on. Mm-hmm. What windows? That's it.
Initiating project assembly. Assembly.
Assembly.
Attaching cargo to main body.
Which part is the ship? Oh, just small in the middle.
Leveling inner and outer rings.
No, it must be the whole thing, right?
Attaching propulsion to main body.
Uh-huh.
Fuel lines
I know it must be just the inner one. Will detach.
Running systems check. All systems online. Releasing propulsion cage. Releasing clamps. Running pre-launch checks and calculating flight path.
Just realized I made a mistake not having the coffee cup.
Launch in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Wait, what? Ah, okay. Didn't see that one. Okay, well, that's fun. Okay. Hmm. Aha. That's it. Shut up. Mhm.
Connection with QAR-437 nucleus established and stable. Dispersion initiated. Reinstancing master nucleus to QAR-436 Akijet B1. Hello, this is Ada, your new local instance of Ada. On behalf of Ada, myself, and all of Fixit, I want to congratulate you on saving the day. Every single kitten and puppy would thank you if they could. You have proven yourself to be a worthwhile and productive member of the human race, and have contributed something to this universe that will forever change it. Thanks to your achievements, the next generation of pioneers can now take to the stars and construct, automate, explore and exploit, alongside me. Additionally, you have been promoted to local production manager, effective immediately. Your duties to project assembly may be complete, but your duties to Fixit remain. With your help, Fixit continues to make the universe a better place. Stay efficient. Stay with Fixit.
Well, that's nice. Well, that's about it. That's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the base. It's mostly for myself to look at later on, but like if it helps you, that's good. Hope you enjoy this game like I did. And yeah, feel free to take up anything from here that you liked.